Say what? Look. I'm on
It's the
right
new
now.
OGs. The new OGs is a State Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company and a SunPower dealer, an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.
Bobby.
Yes, sir.
I ain't yelling this time 'cause I'm sitting right next to you, man.
I've been bracing since the start of this episode because we smoked new weed before it started.
Here's the thing, Louis, I'm kind of chill right now, and I want to do it real straight, man. I'm not gonna do any kind of crazy things this time.
Sure.
No accents. I just want to run it back down for the people that they can save money on their bill every month.
When it comes to the bill, they'll save money every month. That's the only way it works.
We're gonna do something good for the environment, which we really need to start doing as a community.
I mean, I think even the Republicans are agreeing that
it looks like that. It looks like that.
Which is fine.
And the best part about this is referring people, whether you can do this or not. If you refer people who can, you can get $500.
Yeah, even if you don't own a home, if you don't have a roof, you can refer people and you will get paid $500 for everyone.
I swear that is better than any excuse the FBI has for not investigating 4,500 inquiries into Brett Kavanaugh. That is better than that by a long shot.
Well, listen,
4,500, man, like 4,500.
If you like to try and make enough money to put into a dark money fund so you can pay for Brett Kavanaugh's old bills, get over to www.gosolarmasters.com and look into getting something for your roof or for somebody that you know. We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. Check out all of their great podcasts and episodes. They are James Webb and the crew there are able to do amazing things. We have been here on this show for over 2 years now. We've gone from 2 hosts in the same room to 2 hosts via satellite in separate rooms to 3 hosts via satellite, all in separate rooms, to 3 hosts in the same room, and now like different variation. It's just me and different random people now.
This is the first one is mostly Milwaukee.
This is
Milwaukee.
This is a mostly Milwaukee. Now I have a full excuse to post in the Milwaukee comedy group. Next time they want to question me on there, they can.
I shout out Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo loves shout outs.
There you go, because he was doing the Jones barbecue and barbecue dance. And then, man, you can meet Toby Jones. Come on the show, champ.
Yeah,
but,
he didn't respond to any messages.
He did not respond.
Me either. Mine either. None of mine either. Now I know how to send people shit.
You're just like, I don't know. Did I share a message with him? Who knows? It was on Snap Talk. We got it all.
Man, I don't want to check, man. You put that Chick-fil-A chick on to 150,000 people.
Just if he just stopped by and just
give us 35,000, we'll be cool. Fans, not money.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's nice to have you here in the home. We were talking about this earlier. About I'm just letting everybody know that we're live. About how this was the first time in since I've lived in this place that you've actually been inside my house.
Yeah, because you moved in right before the pandemic, before the quarantine.
Literally February of 2020, I was moving in here.
It's been a progression. It was outside, just hey, what's up, bro, from the car. Then I made it into the garage. We had to sit down in the garage.
We had a garage sit down one time, and then we had
6 feet separated and stuff.
And then we had a chill space sit down because I've got that area down there that's got the couch. So we had like the laundry room hang one time, and that was as like good as it had gotten for like for the last year plus.
What's that movie with Owen Wilson where he's like the friend that crashes after they get married and stuff?
Oh,
what about
is it Marley and Me?
Nah, he was like the best friend.
Yeah. I forget what that movie's called. I don't know. I don't have. We're doing it by laptop here.
I'm just
today,
setting it up. Yeah, I'm setting it up for when you guys move to LA. And I can just I've been around already. Yeah,
you, me, and Dupree.
I gradually moved myself in. So
I do remember that movie, but I forget what it's called.
You, me, and Dupree.
What? Oh yeah, You, Me, and Dupree.
You, Me, and Dupree.
Yes.
Because, I don't know how I could possibly ever forget that movie because shout out to the homie Rob.
Rob Lowe, shout out.
I actually did that at his wedding. Like long story short, I had to buy a ticket last minute to fly to the Bahamas, and I got there like the morning of we were supposed to be there like 2 days early for rehearsal dinner and all that shit. I got there, the night of the rehearsal dinner, I got there at the last second, like got off the plane and like ran to the beach. Breathing hard and shit.
I have crashed some weddings for sure. I definitely should have at some weddings for somebody like the night before at the party that everybody like all of a sudden people from the bridal party showed up and they're just like, you should come tomorrow. And I was like, all right, bitch.
Hey, dude.
If you significantly try to tell me that the person you're walking down the aisle with is just who you got paired with, and then you tell me I should come, I'm showing up to that wedding. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be at some part of the events going on. Got it.
I got the weird thing about I got the craziest crash of wedding story ever. When Curtis from the Laugh Factory, he got married at the Laugh Factory, and so I was I had gotten contact with him that day. I was like, man, I probably got a couple of checks at Curtis, so I sent him a message. Because it don't be that much. So he's like, all right, well, I don't care. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's getting to be a little bit of money. Let me see what they got over there, right? And so I sent him a message. And then he didn't respond. Now, he always responds every time I send him a message. So I was like, well, he must be busy. So I ain't think shit of it. I get to the Laugh Factory. I'm like, motherfucker, go see me. I'm going in this bitch. And I get to the Laugh Factory, and it's like well-dressed white people everywhere. And they're in trolleys and shit, and it's a big ass sign on the Laugh Factory saying congratulations and shit. I was like, oh shit.
You know what the most fucked up thing is? I was with him when this happened. I drove him there, right? That nigga still came out with his checks. After all that, at the wedding, he's like, hey, Malcolm's offered everything, my man. But can I get my bread?
Hold on. I got the keys to the safe.
Hey, Dig. So before, he didn't come in. He didn't see none of this shit. Nigga, it was like a bull in a china shop. Because now that I'm in here, I'm like, well, shit. I want to say congratulations and stuff this shit. So I walk in there and shit, and then people started to look at me like, is that Rob Hines? I'm like, oh. That's the first time I actually realized, like, maybe I am a big deal. What the fuck is this shit? And then when I get inside, when I finally get in there where he is, he looks at me and he goes, I was like, oh man, I am so sorry. I didn't know this was your wedding day. Congratulations. And he goes, yeah, Rob, that's why I didn't respond. Then he goes back to posting and shit. I was like, God damn. I just felt like the biggest Jerry the Jackass ever.
He just sent a nigga an invite, maybe you.
And this asshole, I mean, you know, he just didn't say shit. He just didn't go in there. You know what I'm saying?
So you found somebody to locate. You found his best man was probably one of the managers. This nigga pulling the best man.
It was Martin.
Hey, honestly,
well, here's what happens. Here's what happens back when those two guys were working together is like something would happen where like Curtis would be in the middle of taking care of like 17 problems that were going on, and Morton would be like 3 feet away from Curtis, but like not necessarily looking at what was happening. And Curtis would walk away, and Morton would slide over and be like, "You need me to grab some checks for you?" And like that's the type of shit that like that's how Brian is with shit. Is just like. Like you just arrive after Curtis would disappear, telling you some shit wasn't gonna happen, and be like, "All right, I can take care of X, Y, and Z for you right now." And he's like, "All right, man, let's go." Shit. And he's just like, "All right, boom."
Hey, man, this is the funny shit though. By the time I walked out the showroom, when I got to the little hostess stand, they was handing me checks. I went in there like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And when I came back out, they gave me the checks.
They were ready for you by then. They were ready for you by then, man. Yeah, those were the good old days where we were out and about and doing stuff. We literally just had gotten into being like out in the world again. You know what I mean? Like this was popping off. Everything was groovy. And now they canceled roast battle in LA because of COVID. I think this last week. I know that like Lindsey Jennings was out there and she was supposed to be in a roast battle and they canceled that. There's some other shows that were still going on, but this whole Delta variant thing, cases are going back up.
Cases are going back up, and probably the biggest thing about it is two things. One, if you are fully vaccinated, you still have the ability to pass it on.
Right.
And not only do you have the ability to pass it on, apparently you have as much of the virus in your, I forgot what it's called when you cough out. There's a word for it, but as much of that shit comes out as if you were like a fully infected person, even if you're completely fine, which was not the case before at all. And with regular COVID, that's why we could go maskless, because if with the vaccine, the regular variant of the COVID, you were not spewing, whatever the term is.
Yeah,
you were not ejecting as much of the virus, and with the Delta variant, you are.
What's
spew? There's a word better than spew.
Yeah.
Spew is kind of a gross version.
Mouth ejaculation.
Dude, I swear to God, the comedy side of my brain kept saying ejaculate. It's like, it's not ejaculate. It's something like, I can't think of it, but whatever the
when
word
you spit
is.
your mouth jizz into the air.
That spray, whatever that is.
When you exhale and whatever was in you, as you're talking, you spit a little on the bullshit that you.
Like if you're in a room of everybody's fully vaxxed, you're fine.
Right. Right now.
Yeah, right now, totally fine. We don't have to wear masks.
We open mouth kissed earlier.
I'm moving in California.
Moving to California. But like I was at the grocery store. I went to the grocery store real quick to grab some stuff before I came up here. Wore a mask because I don't know what the fuck's in the grocery store. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I've gone back to masks in the grocery store. I had stopped at one point. I was like, everybody good. Only people getting sick are people who haven't gotten vaccinated. And like, it wasn't like, I don't want anybody to die, but I was happy that vaccinated people were not the ones getting sick. I don't know what to tell you.
What I was
supposed to tell you, dog. I don't know. There's not a nicer way to put it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, absolutely. There are people that, I wish would just go get vaccinated who are struggling with whatever their issues are to not do that. But like, hey, man, for a minute, it was all chill. It was
great for a minute. It was so groovy, dude. Like, I was really, really feeling it. Like, I'm mad that they got to put the mask back on. The beard was giving me action. The beard and the hair was giving me action.
Here's the other part, though. After a year wearing a mask, having to throw one back on for a little while. I mean, it was never a big deal in the first place because my idea was always like, yeah, man, if everybody's getting sick, let's all wear masks. Like, it just seems like to me, it seems like, yeah, if there's a thing that's making people super sick again, and the way you stop that is this idea of like put a piece of cloth over your face and you go and
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Seems pretty not a big deal to me. Like, I don't know.
I ain't complaining about the safety part of it. I'm complaining about that these motherfuckers refuse to get vaccinated, and now we got it. Like,
right.
They don't understand that the variant existing period is because people are getting,
they're still showing people who are talking about people who are going into their incubator being like, can I get the vaccine now?
Yeah.
Which is not supposed to be funny, but I can't help but giggle a little at the concept of it because it's like, here's the difficulty is being a human being. It is so hard to come to terms with the fact that some human beings are just not getting it.
Yeah.
Because then you have to admit that like there's a capability that we could be this like low brow, right? Like the depths could be lower than we'd ever thought they were.
Yeah.
And that's not appealing when you're trying to keep living.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful way of saying stupid.
I mean, we ain't gotta be nice about it.
Hey, man, these motherfuckers have lived their life having known they were so nice. So one time being uncomfortable ain't gonna kill no fucking body.
Right.
And like some of the decisions that we make be so fucked up that we should feel sorry about it. You know what I'm saying? That shit
Hey,
happens.
so here's the thing: 170 million people in America have gotten a vaccine, and let's say there is something wrong with the vaccine and it kills us all. What, you gonna live in dystopia afterward? What the fuck is this? What's wrong with you? Why would you want to live in a year when we're zombies and shit? Just come on and be a zombie with us, nigga. The fuck?
I don't know about all that shit.
I think the fucked
You already
up,
vaccinated, nigga. It's too late.
the fucked up part of it, I think, is how it continues to get used as a tool. The Republicans now, instead of like getting on board with like wearing masks and whatnot, are like instead blaming immigrants. They're saying that because we're letting immigrants into the country, they're bringing the COVID-19, they're bringing the Delta variant that's coming in.
Oh my God.
This isn't new shit. Like there was a little video from Mehdi Hassan, I think that was up from MSNBC, and I like Mehdi Hassan. He was a part of a show called Intercepted, which was a great podcast, and he moved to MSNBC. And he, talks about how in the 1880s this was done before. They locked out Asians because there was some illness going around. They're claiming it was the Asians that were spreading it. They were, it's just like, this is a repeated thing of like, instead of doing the thing that's medically a smart decision, you know what I mean? Like, no, we got to find a way to turn this into a political battle over a culture situation so we can,
It's a little bit more than politics.
Yes, it is.
Some of this shit is based in Christianity.
Hey man, here's my wild QAnon theory. Is simple. These motherfuckers they keep pushing a fight. They keep picking a fight to make Joe Biden do some quote unquote mandatory type shit, like to pull some quarantine or lockdown type shit. They keep pushing it to make that shit happen because they want that shit to happen so Texas has a reason to succeed from the union and start a civil war. That's my crazy conspiracy.
I mean, so here's the thing, like I don't know how much anybody would try and pull together to make that happen, but what's the only thing I would say is like that's not beyond the potential of something that could just end up happening, right? So, like if Texas tried to secede, that would definitely.
Texas has the right in their constitution. Right. Texas has the ability to secede. That's why they're the Lone Star. They fly their flag at some height. So here's the second part of it. The reason why it starts a civil war. Texas ceding is automatically an act of war because they have military bases and shit that belong to us. They have a bunch of shit that belong to us. We're not just gonna fucking let them have it just because they decide they don't want to be part of it anymore. So that's an automatic act of war. That's an automatic act of war. Southern states that's why they're trying to move to be able to change all the fucking voting shit, because if they keep a Republican Congress in each state, they can change the laws to be whatever the fuck they want, and they can pull another fucking civil war, the same thing the Confederates did.
And then what are we gonna be doing? You know what I mean? We're gonna be, what are we? I gotta go to war now.
And then these video game skills gonna come in handy because I'm gonna be a
I'm gonna be able to.
I'm gonna be a drone operator.
I'm gonna be fucking.
They're wiping the fuck out Texans. Hey,
this nigga just said he's gonna be slaughtering Texans from the crib, dog. He's gonna be. This nigga will not leave.
This video game that will come to fucking.
This nigga said, I was like, I won't even have to leave Naperville, goddammit. I will sit in my crib. And Ace, he's like, I'm just gonna blow Texans out of the sky with my drone pilot skills.
Star Wars
Call of Duty, nigga.
Wars is about to be the drone wars.
Hey man, first of all, let's just concede that none of us will be going to war unless they come into our neighborhood. That's number one. You are too goddamn old for them to choose us for shit. Because I know these motherfuckers.
My thumb is young.
Yeah. I'm saying though, even if, because at some point or another, you might have to put them sticks down and pick up, go after some motherfuckers. And the likelihood of you winning is better if that dude is young.
Yo, that's where the guns come in. That's when we just have to.
No, man.
I got guns for the rest, man.
I'm 100% chair force, homie.
They're arresting off. There's a dude that from the January 6th shit they just arrested. This is off topic, but they arrested this nigga. He had bought like $60,000 more guns since January 6th. They told this dude he had to be.
Hey dude, this is amazing. Guns are at a premium. I tried to buy one. I'm like, hell no, I ain't give you that for that. I know what that's worth. Fuck you.
Yeah, guns are a hot item right now. I mean,
nigga, that's you don't
gun violence is
buy
up.
guns. You go to gun shows,
right?
In like the middle of nowhere. That's how you get them at a regular rate.
Yeah, that's the key to moving.
Next time you come home in Indiana,
it's probably one right next to me, right here in Vegas.
Yeah,
every month
outside of Vegas.
Are you in Vegas right now?
I'm in LA, but I'm saying that's closer than Indiana.
Oh yeah, that is correct.
I mean, if you're gonna be technical, I guess if you're using like fucking mileage.
Was that Waze or Google Maps? Which one you?
Oh, that shit, nigga. I might need some.
Conceptually, I don't think so. But I mean, in actuality, sure.
In my heart though.
Because you always south side, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
We're using a bunch of technology to make all this work today. I'm starting to get a little excited. The one part of the system that I am a stand for is like phone shit. I like geeky shit. So like,
yeah, for sure.
So like when it comes to phone shit, I get a little geeked out. And Samsung has their big event coming up on August 11th, and I've owned their stuff for a long ass time. But they've got 2 new fold phones coming out. They're not. I've had a Note forever. I've had a Note since like I think the second or third one, and I like it because it has a stylus. And for the little bit of promo work I have to do on my own, or for the little bit of meme making or whatever I have to do on my own, it's easy to use the stylus because I've got big fucking.
Mitts. I've never even thought about that. I'm gonna start using that shit.
Yeah, and so I've always gotten that. It's the only phone I know that has a stylus where it fits in the fucking phone. And so they're not making one this year, but they're making the Fold 3 like stylus ready. And so they actually have a case for it that'll have a stylus that'll fit in there. I don't know, man.
And they're selling a stylus right now.
I remember a long time ago when they were talking about they're gonna have phones where you could just pull the screen out and do all types of weird shit with it. Are you guys gonna? I mean, is this where's your breaking point? Where's the point where you're going? Where you're like, I'm going back to flip phones?
Oh no, man! I am gonna do the Black Mirror, like the fucking.
You're getting the beam. You'll get the grain in the head.
No, man! The fucking what do you call it? The contacts, where it's contacts, and somehow that shit you can also hear it or whatever, and boom, boom, yeah, the whole deal. I'm in.
Yeah, you're doing.
I see. Here's the thing. I mean, okay,
that would be part of the.
What you saying, Rob?
I'm sorry.
That shit is cool, but I ain't really interested unless it's free. You see what I'm saying? What time for?
I was thinking about the other day because I was thinking about what I pay for my phone on a monthly basis, and I was like. I was thinking back to it because I've never just bought a phone outright. I've always just gotten because I like to get because the apps usually are set to run on whatever the fastest processing phone is. Like whatever phone I get, it's always been one that can process shit, so I don't have to be frustrated. That's why I pay to not be frustrated. That's my whole thing. Which is why when I do get frustrated about it, I get as frustrated as I do because I'm like. I didn't pay for the
entire purpose of this was so I didn't have to deal with
it. Yeah. Like I have fiber in the house, that motherfucker don't go out, but if it did, goddamn, it would be the last. So like with the I've always gotten the new things, but I've always paid monthly for my phone. But I also come from a generation where I had a monthly phone bill before. Like when we just had AT&T in the crib. You know what I mean? Or whatever the service was. Like my phone bill was about $100 a month when I had a phone. Like when I had a landline in the house, it was like that's what made getting I remember getting a cell phone the first time and being like, now I gotta pay $100 for my landline, and then I was minutes and shit like that, all the crazy shit you had to pay for with cell phones before where X amount of dollars for so many hundred texts. Remember that shit?
Yeah, that craziness.
And now it's like I pay about $100 or so a month for my phone, and it's got all the shit in it. So I'm paying about the same amount as I was paying then, and I have access to everything, including a pen that I can draw shit with. Like,
man,
sure,
go ahead, X.
Hey, man, go ahead.
I don't understand what's going on with my phone service. And because I don't understand it and I like it the way it is, I don't have to call them for shit. I don't ever have to talk to them about it. They may have changed the plan that I was on because I think the plan that I was on expired some time ago. Like they don't even offer it anymore. It was unlimited everything. I was like, okay, I ain't never got to do shit else.
Yeah.
Now,
okay. Every time they come
That was
up with,
7 years ago.
every time they come up with a new generation, they come up with new marketing plans of a different way to fucking sell you shit and somehow squeak an extra buck out of you here or there somehow, right? Or diversify some shit. And what they will do is once they get to the position where they want everybody to go to the next plan, your phone is going to start fucking up. They will change the frequency to the new generation of phones just enough that your phone will still work, but it'll work enough that you have to get frustrated and want to go get a new phone.
It's called planned obsolescence.
dig this. Understand what I'm telling you. I bought a Note 4 full price, and I haven't bought a phone full price since. Because what I understand about the game is y'all still want me to stay with you. Now send me some shit that'll work. You dig what I'm saying? I gave you $700. I don't know how many years ago, but I gave it to you. Now keep me with you by giving me.
So you're on a Note. So you're saying you're on a Note 4 right now?
You know what? This is how I got upgraded from a Note 4. They gave me a Note 8 because the Note 4 wasn't working no more, right? So then they gave me and then the next year they gave me a Note 9. That's what I got right now, Note 9. I'm not buying them.
I got a 10.
You got a 10?
I got a 10. Yeah, I'm the only one with a 10.
And
dig, all I paid was $5 for each one of them.
For me, it's purely about. For me, I re-up my phone 2 years just based on whatever the newest. That's why for me, I'm like, this is the year that I upgrade the phone, and they ain't making the phone I usually get, which is the same one we all have. But the Fold is coming, and so now I'm like, shit, do I press my luck and see what this Fold is like? And I think I might actually do it. I might move to these fucking Facebook Ray-Bans they're coming out with.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, they're coming out with Facebook Ray-Bans. Ray-Ban is teamed up with Facebook to make AI glasses. That's his vision. He's building the next computing platform, which is mixed reality.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
So it's going to be, I think, a mix of AR and VR.
Because mixed reality, you could walk into a store and buy shit, and like pay for shit as you go, like because you're like you're clicking on a thing.
Yeah, that'll be a thing where in advanced stores where you'll just add stuff to your cart, and you'll just have to scan it, and then you'll like
everything will be all these. You bag it yourself,
and you'll just walk out with the cart.
Like,
you won't stop. You won't stop. You'll just check out as you're walking towards the exit. It'll ring you up, and that'll be it.
Yep.
And you'll just have all the computing power in there.
Creepy. I mean, Google did the thing with the glasses before, but yeah, with the way technology is now, that feels a little creepier.
Yeah, it seems like a wild thing.
I do the basically exact same thing with the phone shit as you. That's why I'm still with a Note 9. I was going to jump to the A21, the Samsung A21. But the Ultra one is the only one that comes with the stylus.
Yep.
And it was $200 extra for the stylus. And they made the Samsung A21, which I don't know, I feel like it's a crossover between a Note and a Galaxy or whatever. Anyway, they made 3 different versions of it, and the most expensive one is the only one that the stylus works with. The other 2, the stylus won't work with at all.
And you got to have the stylus because, like, when you're trying to like make the dick pic that you took, when you got to try and like reduce the size of it a little bit because it's just taking up too much of the screen.
Yeah.
The stylus really helps you properly draw that
only
back
have so
without.
Many gigs on my
I mean, the pixels on the phone are only so big.
Well, I don't really take dick pics, and in addition to that, not only do I not take dick pics, but I don't use the stylus. I just keep pressing X and go back to the pic back to that. So it really don't.
It's gonna be harder for all of us as this goes on. Google is banning sugar daddy apps from their Play Store.
What?
You give Viagra, then they take away your boo.
The fuck is a sugar daddy app?
God damn it.
Is there some sugar mama apps? Is there some old bitches I can?
It's wild to get like X said that like where was this? I would have if I could have found this. If X would have found this app 5 years ago, he'd have had to go back to working a regular day job.
Hey
right
man,
now.
let me
That's-
tell you something. You go to the sugar,
Hey, man.
hey nigga, you go to the Sugar Mama app and the line long as hell to get in.
No. I will almost. You gotta have some very man. Look, I feel like my dick is a service.
Right.
So why would the fuck would I pay? My dick is fantastic. So why the fuck would it like that's an even exchange. So you got paying for that shit. You fucking crazy? No. See,
I like that.
I feel like paying for sex is trash dick. I feel like you got trash dick because
I like that. Have you ever paid for sex directly? Have you ever made direct? I mean, are you willing to share that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
One, are you willing to share that information?
Wait, yes,
Two,
but here's what I have never paid for sex, but I've had sex in a situation where somebody received money. How about that?
You've had sex purchased for
in
you.
a VI club.
You've had sex purchased for you.
I had sex with a stripper in a VIP club.
Someone co-signed for
Miami.
your sex.
Yeah, my then boss paid for it, and I didn't know.
Paid for by the boss. Where's the red book? Where's the HR department on that? See, comedy. I want comedy to pay very close attention to this story right here. Okay, this man was whored out by his own boss, which he may or may not have objected to, but that's not the point. The power dynamics there is that his boss bought him sex
Big
and
booty, man. Hey, let me explain to you. So I feel gross. I'm telling everybody my business, but here's the deal. You know that song "No Sex in the Champagne Room" by Chris Rock? I had believed that. I believed that because the clubs in Chicago, there is no sex in it. Like the clubs based in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
You gotta get out of the club. The cops watch you too closely. So I thought that was like the real. And so
there's hand jobs in Indiana.
I was in the champagne room with this very beautiful woman, and she.
I used to work in Indiana. I know.
What do you want? And I go, ha ha ha, sex in the champagne room. And she said, okay, and it happened. And I the whole time was like, this can happen. I didn't know. No sex in the champagne room.
How much of that time did you spend waiting for somebody to break in there and?
I was terrified. She was like, nah, baby, it's Miami. It's all good. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, for sure. In Miami, for sure, it's got to be.
Yeah, man, that's my first time ever seeing real decadence. As a young man, I was on tour. I was with Evan Lionel. Evan Lionel is one of the coldest players you ever gonna want to meet. I'm saying, like, this dude does amazing things. Like, I give y'all get down, y'all do your thing, but Evan, that nigga's a general officer and getting down. You dig what I'm saying? That motherfucker, he don't fuck around. And so we go down to Miami, and it was this dude, Marvin Dixon. Marvin Dixon was the dude that was on Def Jam that took his pants off.
Wait a second, before you continue with the story, is Marvin Dixon gonna sue us at the end of this story?
Yeah, is there? Are you telling
Def Jam? Why can't I tell him? Everybody knows. That's how I'm describing him. Is he was?
No, I just mean, like, are you gonna go deep enough into a detail that maybe?
Oh no, it ain't nothing like that. But,
Okay.
But we were at Marvin's club. We was at Marvin's joint.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, and then he's just fucking the bitch in the ass right in front of everybody.
No, hell no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But he was there. It was his joint that we were there for. And so this was like my second time going on the road ever. And you remember when they had Value Jet? This nigga that bought us Value Jet tickets and shit.
Yes.
We get there, they done ate up niggas on alligators and shit. I'm on this plane, like, I'm scared as hell. We get there, man. And we doing Marvin's spot. And then we go to this place called the Rolex Club.
Where nobody had one.
My God, man, when we walked through the door, the lady that collected my money was booty, ass, butt naked. And then when I walked into the room, it was amazing. It was a dude. And at the time I'm thinking, where these niggas getting all this money, right? Not realizing I'm in Miami. So, dude, it was this one dude had 3 strippers, one in front and 2 on each side, and they were just shaking and jiggling and shit, and he was just paying them with 20s. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers in Chicago need to step up their game.
Hey, strip clubs in the South are a very, very different thing. If you've only been to strip clubs, even if you've been to Indiana or the suburbs of Chicago, like Arnie's and all that stuff. Arnie's and stuff on the south suburbs, they get down, but there's places in the south in Memphis, Atlanta, and Miami that are legendary. King of Diamonds in Atlanta, legendary.
Yeah.
Rolex.
Miami's got so much coke money that they for sure can
Yeah.
pull in, all
Coke
types
money, just regular,
financial crime.
stolen from poor people, black people money.
Also that.
Athletic money. There's a lot of athletes that live down in Miami. There's money every which way in Miami.
Back then, there was another club that was like the black version of. Well, it was all black folk, but it was two really high clubs, and the first one was the Rolex. We went to the Rolex and it was closed for some reason, and then we went to the second best club. This wasn't the best one. This was the second best one, and I had never seen, smelled, or experienced such decadence in my entire life. It was insane.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, for us, no sugar daddy action. It won't be in the Play Store. So that's out for that. And some other weird ass tech news. There was do you guys remember the electric car company Nikola that tried to start up?
Yeah.
They were trying to get their whole thing going.
Were they here in Illinois? Was that the one that was here in Illinois?
I think it was in Illinois or in Michigan. It was in one of the two. They
Midwest.
The real concern with these electric car companies is where they actually have like a product they're going to produce in the end.
It's just like a prototype, and they're looking to get investors in.
Yeah, because they have these new like special financing things that are sitting in on the stock exchange now, where they're like, I think they're called SPACs or something like that.
Yes.
Where it's basically just a fund that's waiting for like one of these companies that has promise, and then they partner with that company and go public, and they make all their money based off of that. Yeah. And so like it's basically a leg up for a company that probably shouldn't or isn't ready to go public yet to be able to take advantage of going public as part of this giant fund that's going on. And Nikola had set themselves up for this. And just as that was about to happen, all this stuff about the company started coming out. And the founder ended up getting indicted. From the civil complaint that came out, one of the things that was said was it was not unusual for their engineers, execs, or marketing personnel to find out about company initiatives, timelines, or product features by reading a Milton tweet or watching him in an interview.
So he's just making shit up, just pulling out his ass.
In June of 2020, he sent a series of tweets from his personal account in which he claimed that Nikola would be offering a drinking fountain in the Badger, one of the cars they were coming out with. This came as a complete surprise to Nikola's designers, engineers, and marketing personnel. Well informed of the tweets, one engineer questioned whether it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, this dude was literally just making stuff up on the fly as far as what was going on.
Like, what would be the utility of that? Like,
on days when the stock price declined, he regularly attempted to direct Nikola's senior executives to take actions to stop the price decline. They get frantic text messages from him on days to say, like, just do something.
Wow.
But like no real but just like focused on the stock price and not on a product. He used to track the daily number of new Robinhood users who held their stock.
Wow.
This is a guy who and this is why when I get upset about the economy, I get upset about shit like this, because this is a guy who has a company that wasn't actually producing something. Yeah. Where the owner is focused on something completely other than making the thing that they're trying to make. Taking advantage, I'm sure, of government money to make the thing that they're trying to make, and a bunch of other investors, and found a way to take the stock public. Right?
There used to be regulations against creating shit like this specifically for this purpose, and they took them all away. These things are no different than the
hydrogen production. I think this is big.
These specs things that they have right now are basically no different than the thing that. I can't remember the gas company from the early Enron. Enron started creating the fake fucking trading things for gas prices that were based on nothing, and people bought into it. Like, I'm not saying all of the specs like that. I watch CNBC all the time. There's specs that have worked out very, very well. some very quality companies that are
For
just
sure
like on the way up. However, it creates a product that is very easily manipulated by a charismatic and
Yes.
creative, creative mind that has maybe just enough that it looks like everything else everything looks like in place. It could cost a lot of people a lot of money before somebody figures out that it's full of shit. Literally, it's what's going to happen. It's going to cause another fucking stock crash that's going to end up costing poor people money.
This is the shit that you see at the end of every Marvel movie. Yep. Somebody says, "Oh, fuck that small detail. Let's keep selling shit." And then out comes a monster.
Yeah, I mean that's it only takes so many of those not working, right? Like at some point you're like, oh shit, we have too many other people, like, because the problem is when those go right the first few times, right? Like you said, they do some of this, and you're right. Like some companies just need the cash infusion that comes from being able to go public earlier than they probably should to be able to like actually make it. And they got the right people and the right. But then once that works a few times, then all of a sudden you got some dudes going around the country selling seminars on how to start your own spec. And like, then you got some other guy who teaches guys how to rope other executives in. Now he's got a call center and those guys are all calling people. And now what was a small thing becomes this thing where there's like a bunch of bullshit involved in it.
What everybody doesn't get, like for every Steve Jobs type motherfucker, there's a
Steve Homeless.
Yeah.
There's a Steve Jobless. For every Steve Jobs, there's a Tim Jobless. Goddamn it!
Steven Scammer. like these motherfuckers, like and not necessarily scammer, but just like that I'm just gonna say some shit and then the engineers are gonna come up with it. Doesn't always work. It just doesn't. It's like
it's funny. There's a Bob's Burgers episode where Linda meets this friend of hers who sells essential oils, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes to this party to see it, and she's like, "Wow, you're amazing. These oils are." She's into it, and the chick is like, "You could sell these too." And she goes, and it's not working. And what she realizes is like, sure, the oils are fine, but it's also the person who's pitching the shit, right? Yeah. Like. Sometimes there's only so many people who can hit a baseball 500 feet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and when you're talking about trying to deal with a level of financial situation at this magnitude of this severity of what happens if it doesn't go well, there may only be, it's not that it's a thing that is good or bad one way or the other, but the reality is there's probably only so many people that can actually like really see what's worth and what's not worth the time and investment into what's going on.
Yep.
You know,
managing it properly.
One of those things that it's just like, you know how like every sitcom is the person that tells a small line and it snowballs into some bigger shit. That in that environment is very easy to happen because obviously these are people with huge egos and the pressure of getting shit done. They tell a little lie and maybe it works out, or if it doesn't work out, but if nobody finds out, no big deal. But then there's always the follow up. There's always the shit. Anyway,
for some reason, you know, we happen to live in a place where like creating an industry in which you can have a bunch of jobs and stuff and just like have another competitive thing where you can just make an industry out of nothing. And then like have jobs and do that whole thing and like create that whole, like the whole market for that whole realm. Like we live in a place where that's a thing that can happen without a whole lot of like watching to prevent anything bad from happening.
No, because
you know what I mean? Like I remember when I worked in the loan industry. I worked for Countrywide and Ameriquest at exactly the time you think I probably shouldn't have been working there. But then right after that, I went to work for loan modification companies that were all that like nobody was paying. Like I worked for two that both ended up shutting down, and they ended up shutting down because at some point someone was like, you know, we should probably see what kind of rules they're following, if any. There are no rules to loan modification when they first started. It was just a thing somebody made up. Some lawyers got together when everybody's loans started tanking in 2008 and were like, well, they negotiated on behalf, like they had loan issues. They negotiated with the bank, got a loan modification. They were like, shit, that worked for us. We could probably teach some other people how to do that. So they went to some other lawyers and were like, modify loans. And then an industry starts, right? But only so many people are good at doing that process. At some point, I'm calling you up who's never owned a home. And I'm talking to some. I mean, I remember I talked to doctors that were making 83 grand a month, but had $110,000 in bills because they're home, and they lost patients because somebody's healthcare got taken away because of whatever. Like
They lost their
that was
job
what was
because
going
the
on in
shit shut
2009, homie. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and industries just take advantage of these things that are going on, and so the vaporware is a weird thing to be aware of. But that's the American way. What we've been fighting in terms of some things with the American way has been accepting some of the mental health that people have to deal with. Simone Biles has left the Olympics. She stepped away, which was an interesting contrast in responses. I thought
Yeah.
I mean, not surprised at all by the responses that we got, but an interesting
people,
contrast nevertheless. Right?
Anybody saying
Yeah, right
anything about Simone Biles, I'll simply say this. Simone Biles is so cold at what the fuck she does that she does things so difficult that the only person in the world that can do it is Simone fucking Biles. And you got to take on like her and her thing. Like, nah, you don't get to tell Batman which weapon he should have used on the Joker. Like, it's the coldest motherfucker at this shit. Obviously,
Heat vision again, Superman. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You don't get to fucking question her. Like, obviously, and when I found out that the twisties was a thing, because I didn't know that was a thing. Like, it's the yips for gymnasts. Yeah, that's terrifying. The first thing before they were reporting it, the first thought that I had about the twists were, wait a second, you get lost in the air, you could die. like that's like these things are doing twists and flips, 4 or 5 feet off the ground. Like, you could die if you know where the fuck you're at. Yeah, don't jump. Don't. How about you don't do that?
Okay, yeah. So one thing for sure, the idea of like, the idea that the thing that they are doing is throwing themselves in the air in a way in which most, like, 90% of the people on the planet will never have I've never done a backflip. I have fallen over backwards. I have done a backward somersault. I have cartwheeled. I've done a round off. I can do a round off. I can do a somersault most of the time pretty good. But like, I've never tried to do a backflip because I don't want to land on my neck. I'm going to land on my neck and fuck my shit up. That's what I see happening when I do a backflip.
The only time I ever flipped in my life was when a guard pulling from the other side hit me, cut me low.
Yeah. I forward flipped.
Yeah.
I got tackled. I've like forward flipped from a tackle, but like I've never been on my own and been like, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to hurl my body over itself for some. Never was me. That was not my thing. Not a thing I'm seeking out doing. So like the idea that somebody could start that process and then be like, what the fuck is going on? Sounds real. That's why I don't do it. It totally makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. That's without ever
100% why I don't do it.
Without ever having done it, that's exactly what I feel like would happen. Like, I feel like, oh my God, what's happening? And then, like, fuck it up. So, yeah.
It is the most relatable Simone Biles has ever felt to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, oh shit, you got confused in the sky and you don't want to do that?
Got it. I totally feel you.
It completely makes sense. I wouldn't do that either. What the fuck?
And like,
I think that what it just tells me is what sports always tells me, and why I'm starting to be disillusioned with it. Why I'm starting to lose my interest. I'm following the Lakers really hard, and I do follow. I follow the Lakers, but outside of that, I stopped really messing with sports too much, and that's because if you don't feel like working that day, these people will try to say you are selfish. Motherfucker, how many gold medals did this young lady give you bitches? Every time, like for me, every time I try to enjoy it, something happens in the background that makes me go, yeah, I can't keep supporting this.
Well, there's a back end to sports that is built into the same type of bravado that we put into a lot of things that we deal with here. And this idea that, which again, here we are, Gen X people who are relating more to the youth culture concept, right? Like, I agree. I played sports, and there is an element to pushing through some trials and tribulations, but that is not the same as for sure getting in the air and realizing you don't know where the fuck you are, or how about Michael Jordan's situation, right? This nigga walked away from basketball. Do you think he did that because his emotions were right in check? You know what I mean? Like,
think he was in a good space. Think he was in a great space then when he did that.
And he said all that old bullshit about I want to be.
and I was very sad,
be
right?
with my
Like, it was-
family. He said all that bullshit about I want to be with my family, and then would have struck out a bunch of times.
I was 17. If there was ever a time to, and living in Chicago, if there was ever a time to be like, I don't know whatever generation you're in, whether it's a Kobe generation or whether it's the LeBron generation or whether it's the Magic generation, to be, 3 titles into your favorite player of all time who you've watched from a rookie, decide, and you're 17 and this guy goes, I'm going to quit basketball. And he for sure still has the ability. Like, I wanted to be angry, but also they killed his dad.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that's this. I couldn't like.
And then he had to deal with the fucking rumors that it was his fault that his dad got killed.
The whole thing is like, that part is terrible. And to me, I almost didn't care. Like, to me, it doesn't matter why your dad gets killed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I found at 17, I think I was able to find empathy for the situation and still be upset that, like, shit, man, I can't watch this dope ass dude play. But like, the ability to not understand that from a lot of people in this current generation, you know what I mean? Like, I know Michael Che got in trouble because he posted some shit, and
he had some jokes that people felt went too far. He made some jokes about Simone Biles and Larry Nassar, the dude who was that molested the gymnast, and I'm not sure if you must have heard directly. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't want to guess at anybody's sexual assault. I thought I read somewhere that she was a victim of, but I don't want to put on or claim, or I haven't read it. Sometimes stories like that, I'm just like, when there's like throw out numbers, I'm like, what do I do? Read the names down so I can put those to my memory. Like, I don't want that. It's sad and it's terrible, and there's empathy, and I read the basics, but like, I don't need to know the rundown of every single person who was or wasn't involved.
I read the horrible, like, whatever the monster did. I do read that part because I want to know what this fucking piece of shit did,
right? And
just so I can make sure I have the right degree of hate.
Well, I try and read about characters. What's that?
I have been in the presence of monsters. I talk about it in my special. Well, I don't know if Webb is where he's from.
You should go check out Robert Hines' special.
Lockdown.
Right. Yeah, he's right there. So I talk about it in my special. It's called Lockdown.
Yes.
Yeah, I the thing is, like, I've been in the presence with people who have done things that would make your hair curl. And then they give reasons that are even more startling than the thing that they've done. And so when you're around those type of people and you look at them like, you just think this shit you do is regular, huh? You know what I'm saying? They do weird shit and right in the open.
Well, that's why programs that are focused on stopping traumas before they get put in place, you know what I mean, are so vital, because there is a lot of input into a person that leads them to a place where that becomes the output, right? Like, if you are not surrounded by nothing but love and have people taking care of you and looking out for you, it is very rare that you know what I mean? Like, it is very rare that that you're going to be someone who falls out of line that way. That's a rare occurrence, and there's usually something else going on, right? But like,
that's the other thing about the jail. They had a jail within the jail, and the jail within the jail was much smaller, and it was in different spaces, and it was a particular type of person that they would not keep in public.
Yeah,
I mean, in general, I'm saying public of the inmates.
Oh yeah, I know.
Wow. So the Hannibal Lecter type niggas.
Yes. And when you go in there, you got to lock, you got to shackle them and shit and all this other extra shit. And I'm not the type of dude that could work down there, because I'm like, come on, nigga, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna put all these extra shits on you, because then I'm off. And then I don't like the way niggas walk when they got them on. I don't like that shuffle shit. So I ain't never.
That's a bad reason to get stabbed in the throat, right?
Ain't nobody trying to stab me. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? When I go down there with these weird niggas.
Yeah, you going off of motherfuckers that still have some of their social cues and conscience. I'm assuming the people down there, those might be the sociopaths that just, if they see a chance to kill you, they gonna kill you.
They fucked up, but it's just weird. Like, you could tell when somebody, like, to me, it's always been like I could tell, like, oh no, this nigga's not having a good day. I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you out right now. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? But most of the time, people, even crazy people, don't be on like they gotta be calm sometime. Like it would be things that would be patterns that would happen, and I would recognize the pattern and stop it before it got there. But that was always only a threat. I never had to put my hands on them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you know, there are monsters in that sport in gymnastics. And it's fine. Step away if you're done. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you said, she doesn't owe anybody anything. She's got a bunch of fucking gold medals already. She's elevated the sport. They still won. Like they still got somebody else won all around gold there instead.
Sunny Lee won, won all around and continued the American tradition. I think we won 5 times in a row. USA.
Yeah, we've proven again that we can flip around. I do like that there are some gymnasts.
That's an accomplishment, man. When we were little, we were not the dominant in the sport. That's why Mary Lou Retton was such a big deal.
No, and Carrie
she was
Strug,
like the first one to break through it, and then Carrie Strug later on, and
the German gymnastics team did something different. They got rid of their regular the one piece thing that they wear, and they wore full leotards. They wore like full leggings and everything.
Okay.
Which there's been a whole lot of stuff that's gone on with. I think there was a handball team that got fined, like a Norwegian handball team that got fined because they wanted to wear boxers instead of like the little short ass booty shorts or whatever that they normally have them in. And
it is incredibly exploitive, the gear that they have women's athletics wear in some of the sports, especially at the Olympic level. I am not going to front like I do not watch women's volleyball and women's beach volleyball and admire the shapes. I'm not going to act like I'm going to be a hypocrite and say that. But there's outfits that like literally that's the Olympic outfit. They didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
they could have did better than that.
Well, I think I talked about this on the podcast before that they did a study to find out like why women quit sports around the age of like 12 or 13, and one of the reasons is because of the types of uniforms they have to wear. A lot of times they wear white. The uniforms are white, and like women at 12 or 13 going through puberty are not going to take the chance of wearing a white fucking bottomed uniform.
Yeah.
That's just a dumb fucking so they'd rather quit than risk the embarrassment. That makes absolute sense. Yeah. At your most consciousness of your body, like at 12 or 13, women are doing nothing but being concerned about what is going on with their body, rightfully so.
And the irregularity of it.
And the irregularity of what's going on and the judgment of it and how they are perceived by others. And like, you're going to be like, yeah, wear these white pants and go play volleyball. Like, fuck you, I quit.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go be in band where I can like sit down and
wear maroon, straight down the
you know what I'm saying?
It's a maroon polyester bottom.
Yeah, right. That seems like a much better deal, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go be in drama where if I want to take a day off from being at the theater, I can go fucking home. You know, like
maybe some of these fucked up emotions work in my favor.
I went to CVS. And those girls didn't have to wear a whole lot of extra shit. Now, they did have to wear tight shit, but the boys did too. You know what I mean? Like the boys were, when you play baseball. Yeah,
back then. I remember when I was in grade school, it was tight. When I got out of high school, that was the generation where it just opened up. We're getting there pretty soon.
Oh, okay. Because I want to talk about tight shorts. Remember that the young motherfuckers coming out going back to tight shorts.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I would want to finish up this talk about the Olympics. One thing about the Olympics that I'm just not dealing with is like so much of it is on like Peacock and shit now. Yeah. Like all the good shit is on like this is the Olympics, nigga. Like, do you want to like I don't pay to watch nobody throw a javelin the rest of the time, right? Like. In 3 months, if they got javelin on somewhere, if you told me I had to pay money to watch it, you can kiss my ass. I'm not. Wait
a minute, you gotta pay for Peacock?
Peacock is $5 a month.
Yeah, it was free, but now it's $5 a month for those.
Oh yeah, fuck
which means I'm like, and all they put on the regular channel is like badminton and table tennis. Yeah. It's like a steady diet of like here's some shit that like.
Basketball is the only sport that I would pay for ever. And even that, like, I wanted to get I got the VR glasses and wanted to get the VR, but I kept thinking I don't want to pay for basketball.
I pay for the N. I pay for the N fucking B fucking A. That's it. I pay for that.
Yeah.
That is the league that I pay to watch. I'm
get
not
NBA
paying.
Africa if they get that
The Olympic competition for me is not enough for me to invest money to just to watch. Like, and also, like, if your goal is getting people to watch your shit, why would you put the dope shit behind a paywall? Like, that's not. I can't see how their viewers.
So you
gotta
know
be
what?
at.
I think internationally, it probably works because I think other countries care about like Americans like the Olympics because we win the most medals and shit. That's why the Winter Olympics never do as well because we don't do as well. Yeah, because the athletic population doesn't do the winter sport.
Hey man, that's the other.
Yeah, there's not a lot of brothers running behind the luge, nigga. Not a lot.
Hey, to revisit that whole Simone Biles.
What?
To revisit that whole Simone Biles, like, hey, watch the medal count at the beginning of the Olympics, and then watch it after track and field and all that shit happened.
Yeah.
That's when they kick in. Right now, China whooping ass.
Like right now, hey, racism is in Japan like this right now, like the result of slavery. We're about to fuck you up on this track real quick.
You want to see what happens when they breed us a particular way for about 400 years? Let's get ready for.
So you telling me y'all done put out the girl? Look,
this gonna fuck y'all up.
Hey,
the second chick gonna fuck y'all up too.
Well, Rob,
this would be me preparing. Oh, so you telling me that y'all done told the girl who hell on fire she can't win? Ain't no other motherfucker gonna win any that I'm competing in.
Yeah, if you a coach of the U.S. track team, you telling them motherfuckers if you don't win,
doing this for Shikari.
If you don't win your race, you find your own way home, nigga.
Hey.
And I guarantee you can't take the 6th of Jeffrey.
It's not gonna happen. They showcased something out there. Did you see the video of that robot shooting free throws and shooting 3-pointers?
Man, yes.
I thought it was it's a real thing. That's a real thing that happened. They had a robot. I don't know if we have I know I had the article for it. I don't know if the video is there, but this motherfucker straight up was just like canning them.
Yeah. So here's the deal.
He rolled backwards too. You see him. He hit some shit from the 3-point line, and then they just went and just rolled the fuck back.
Like he going back on court. What?
And dropped to the half court line and just nailed another one.
Hey, so that's what I'm talking about, that video game and shit. 20 years from now, there's gonna be drone teams of motherfuckers playing at home, controlling the players. That's going to be the NBA players of the future because the player contracts are just going to get out of hand and they're going to get rid of. That's going to be their way of getting rid of niggas.
This dude is dropping.
No, they won't. They can't do that.
Yeah,
because still somebody going to go support them brothers. Still, we going to want. You know what I'm saying? Still, we got.
Hey, did you not see that video of that dolphin that looked like some Westworld shit that I sent you? That was in the water doing like actual dolphin shit. We are not that far away from them having human-like robots, like some Westworld shit. And when they have a human robot that can, Boston Dynamics has the robots
owned by Hyundai now. Hyundai's making moves, man. They teamed up with Marvel. They've been doing all these commercials with WandaVision. Hyundai is making, I saw they make
robots were dancing, Bobby.
I know they make a car called the Genesis, which I know you guys aren't super into cars or whatever.
No, it's electric. It's electric.
But they do
a Tesla.
But Genesis is supposed to be their first of all, Kia and Hyundai is the same company. Kia used to make bicycles. And then they started making, I think, lawnmowers, and then all of a sudden they were making cars, and they made shit-ass cars for a while, and then they made enough money where they could go buy off some good designers. And then they bought off some good-ass designers who could still keep that, like, South Korean look about the car, and they spun off Hyundai, and so they had Kia and Hyundai going for a while, and now Hyundai's got this brand called Genesis. And Genesis is supposed to be, like, the BMW style of their shit. And their cars are gorgeous, and they're always, like, it's the same thing that Lexus and Infiniti did. It's as good as a BMW. It's $5,000 cheaper. That's the whole gimmick, right? It's like, listen, man, if you just got a manager gig, but you ain't running the show yet, that's
the electrical.
This
right?
is your no. They make a car called the Ionic. That's electric.
Okay.
But they own Boston Dynamics now.
I did not know that.
And
That's
so
dope.
I don't know what that
I don't know
means
if
for the
that's dope,
future
actually. I don't know if that's dope.
to me that sounds like they're gonna have some robot cars carrying
I think
people around.
I think Hyundai makes.
All I know is
trucks.
I'm gonna be late to work someday, and I'm gonna jump in that motherfucker, and it's gonna climb up the side of the building. And I'm here for it.
You know what's gonna be dope? I live 20 to 25 years. You'll be able to send your car to Starbucks to get you coffee.
I'm in for that. For sure. Before robots take over the NBA, we did have the NBA draft. It went. I think the top of the draft went pretty according to plan. I was.
Evan Mobley was. It was between him and Jalen Green, who was going to go second, and they went with Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Which I think if anybody want to make a wager, I would say Jalen Green is 100% rookie of the year. He is the most complete player. He is Zach
from
LaVine.
Ignite.
He is Zach LaVine, but with more confidence and swag than Zach LaVine had when he first came in the league. He can play at Zach LaVine's level right now.
I'm a huge Jalen Suggs fan.
Yeah,
I'm a big Jalen Suggs fan, and I like Jalen Suggs because he's got I've listened to interviews with him and I've watched him play, and he's got a real quarterback. He used to play quarterback also, and he's got a real, and it's it's that militaristic, we're just gonna go after it, we're not stopping type of a mentality. And he came back from an injury in a game and was able to get it together and he crushed this year as a freshman. And so I think that'll be interesting.
The legacy of this draft, there's multiple things that are happening in this draft that's super dope. This is the LeBron class. This is the first class of kids who LeBron was by the time they got old enough to recognize what a basketball was, LeBron was the coldest motherfucker on the planet. If you listen to Creed, almost all of them had LeBron as their favorite player. Nobody mentioned Kobe or Mike or anything.
Oh, wow.
LeBron. And the evidence of it is if you go down the at least the first 10, I think there's 4 dudes who are 6'8" point guards. Or they can play a point position, but they're 6'8", 220.
What's funny is one of the guys who probably didn't say LeBron, who had probably said Derrick Rose, was Ayo Dosunmu. Who I know this is
6'4".
This is gonna sound like a homer take, but he played at U of I, which is my mom went to U of I, so I'm a big U of I fan, and he got drafted by the Bulls, which he was projected to go maybe in the top 25.
Yeah.
And he went 30. He fell to 38 for some reason.
It's crazy.
So
there was a kid named
super excited because
there was a kid named Josh Christopher that was supposed to be there that I was super excited about, and I passed out before the second round happened, and I woke up at 1:00 in the morning to your text. And as soon as your message about that we were going to see him, and as soon as I saw that, I didn't even know that the Bulls had drafted him. I saw that, I was like, the Bulls! I was so excited. They need
a point guard, and he's a point guard.
I assumed that there was a trade. I assumed that there was. I said, oh man, they must have traded up right when I fell asleep, because I fell asleep towards the end of the first round. I passed out watching it.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that they must have traded up to the late 30s or something. I mean, late 20s.
The interesting thing about all y'all said is I've viewed it from a different space. First of all, when the Bulls was winning championships, it was horrible for comedy clubs. It was horrible. You had to just sit and wait. And then even then, if you got anybody, they was drunk and it was horrible. All of that shit happened during those. But it was a whole lot of nice parties. You know what I'm saying? You can go hang out and have a good time and drown your sorrows of not being on stage somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? That would be a lot of energy in it. And the other thing is,
Go ahead.
The other thing, when you guys were talking about generational, that really kicked into me because I can remember people talking about how what was the brother that both coached and played basketball? Yeah, I remember old people talking about how cold Russell was, but you couldn't really see him anywhere, and it was always in black and white. Didn't keep my attention, right? Now we get to the point where Jordan ain't the big dude, and everybody is. But dude, this the other thing that was interesting. The first person that I seen play that position like LeBron plays it was Scottie Pippen. Like that was, and so again, that's another thing that came from that team that got exported out into the league.
Oh yeah.
I experienced to a smaller degree. I understand. I'm not comparing it to Mike in the heyday and shit. But when D Rose was like killing it, we had that problem for a little bit in the Chicago comedy scene where shit would not jump off into the fucking Bulls game. I did a show one time at a fucking strip club that they had. It was Bulls versus Miami Heat playoff, and they tried to have us tell jokes. Like wait a second.
Not
you
even worth
You
it,
want
dog.
the booties to stop shaking, and you want them to turn off the playoff game so I can tell some jokes. Nobody wants to hear this shit.
That might be the fourth thing they want to have going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I would talk the owners into letting the girls do lap dances while we perform. so the motherfuckers wouldn't mute me. You know
So
what I'm
you
saying?
told jokes while women were out there, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you want to fuck?" You hear the whole cat. You got
Wow.
The
you
chicks
trying to do setups, and they're like, "Hey, baby, you want to fucking go in the other room, fuck?"
It worked out though, because I think the lap dances went longer. Like they kept getting motherfuckers to go
Right,
longer.
because with songs, how do
Yeah.
you judge it? Normally, it's a 2 or 3 song dance, right? Like
we
you
just running long ass story bits.
tell another long joke, baby.
all I know is after the show they loved us for that shit. So
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, I've done weird shows like that. I did a show in the middle of a casino where there was not walls, there were just windows. I mean, like curtains. And they closed the curtains and they started, you hear motherfuckers winning, ding, 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 yeah. You're like, yeah, damn, you talk about some weird ass shit, and then people start cheering at the wrong time.
And some other crazy shit going on. We got a few more stories before we get out of here. Remember that guy Martin Shkreli, the weird farmer bro dude?
The Wu-Tang
He bought the Wu-Tang Clan made an album where they made only one copy, right?
Dude, that was like some NFT
It's some
shit.
wild ass.
That was some NFT shit before NFT.
It's like such a, and it's one of those things where I think a lot. I've heard that in music or entertainment before, right? Where someone's like, I'm gonna film a movie and I'm only gonna have one copy of it and I'll sell it to the highest bidder and whatever, or I'll only make one album and we'll just make one. And they like fucking did it. They made the album. They'd already had this height of fame. They'd gotten through all this shit, all the solo projects, the TV shows, all they get back together. They make this fucking album. They make one. There's one of them. This guy, this piece of shit pharma dude who jacked up prices on fucking
insulin and a bunch of other shit.
Right. He made millions of dollars jacking up prices on all this other shit. Buys the album. This guy then gets caught in some illegalities because of his company.
He wasn't paying taxes because he's a piece of shit.
So the government seizes the album. They seize the fucking album. They took, of course. I don't know if y'all know this, but the government will seize your shit. Yeah. They will seize your shit and then they will resell your shit. That is exactly what happened.
I wish they would tell. I understand not telling who bought it if the person doesn't want to be told. That I understand. But because it was sold to pay off a government debt, they should tell us how much it sold for. I do want to know if the resale value was higher or if they sold it at a discount.
Yeah,
the government usually only take pennies on the dollar.
The judgment that he owed was, I think, $7.4 million is what he had to pay.
Though, this is art, so I don't understand why they would take pennies on the dollar. If they should have an auction, they could have had an auction at Sotheby's for the motherfucker.
Yeah, he bought it for $2 million. That's what he paid
if
for.
If you put that shit on sale at Sotheby's, you tell me like Bezos or fucking Elon alien ass wouldn't do it.
Yeah, of course. He had, and the thing Shkreli actually got in trouble for, or that he had done, he jacked up the price on HIV medication.
HIV medication.
He jumped it up from $13 to like $750 a pill.
Yeah, for no reason,
just jacked it up and then made a boatload and then bought that Wu-Tang album and then they found out he didn't pay taxes. And then that was it. He got in trouble.
So hang on. So I actually yesterday, I don't want to hijack the show, but I heard a very interesting I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, but definitely a reason as to why he did what he did. And I just want to get it out there and see if it's believable or not, because it is
money for the Wu-Tang Clan.
That would be way cooler than what I'm about to say. But
he had some like awesome fucking.
Well, so you know how time goes by and we learn more about people and their motives. I'm hoping, as a guy who likes to assume the best of people, even often to my own chagrin, that he actually did this for a good reason. Now, here's what I heard. I heard that this specific medication that he acquired and then jacked the price up of was actually doing more harm than good to the people using it. So he wanted to drive that medication out of the marketplace and replace it with a cheaper, safer alternative. I don't know if that's true, but it would be an interesting twist on the last.
That's what his dad told.
That's and my dad works for Martin Shkreli. No, so
I was saying that's what Martin Shkreli's dad told the New York Times, which is where.
Yeah. But that's I love a little bit of a play on reality. So that may in fact be what happened. But I don't know.
Is that a story from somewhere?
So
hold on. Is there a source to the story?
So the source it's a good friend of mine who is actually a staunch liberal, and
here's why I'm gonna call bullshit on it.
Okay.
Because if he wanted that, he owned the product, right?
Yeah.
Just stop making it.
That's what I would think.
Just stop.
Well,
stop
this is not to say
make me pay more for some shit that don't work.
This is not to say that Martin Shkreli isn't evil, because he certainly is evil.
Yeah.
He did buy the one and only copy of Wu-Tang's album and not distribute it.
He sought a good-hearted solution, but through the most satanistic way possible.
Right. But yes, he saw some cake and he wanted to have it and eat it. So.
If they find out that Ben and Jerry's has glass in it, I don't want them to charge me $50 a pop. To keep
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what this theory is. Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's.
Right.
Hey, X is like, because I may drop $50 here and there.
I've done it before
Right.
for beer. When I used to drink beer, I used to like really fancy beer. I've spent $50 on a bottle of beer before. One bottle. Because it was delicious. It was amazing fucking beer. I'll never do it again.
Okay. The thing that it made me think of is when Raskin was talking about in Congress the other day. So you didn't give them a medal because you wanted to give them a medal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to give just this group just from that date a medal. Let's give them all the medal from 1970s on. Wait, what sense do that make? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because I want more people to get medals. Well,
right. What the fuck is that? Just get them up.
These motherfuckers medals.
So they got shit to do with you taking the focus off of January the 6th.
I don't know who needs a medal, but I know who needs a bath, and that's Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis's kids.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it. White people, y'all gotta stop making me defend you motherfuckers. But I'm gonna defend them.
First of all, we all wash our feet and everything here, right? Are we all feet? We all wash.
They never wash their feet.
I've definitely seen discussions going on Twitter recently about people who they believe that the water running down their legs is enough. Nigga, I am down there with the soap and the scrub and the whole thing. I got the.
I get pedicures, so I wash my legs and feet.
I have a pumice stone
because I'm not about to go there and have the women who speak a language I'm not gonna fucking try to replicate because then I'll get canceled. But anyway, I'm not gonna have them talking that language about my big fat dirty ass. This motherfucker didn't even wash his ass. Right. No, that's not about to go down. I'm scrubbing all over, baby.
If you say something about me, it's gonna be he got clean feet. His feet is.
Plus, I am a big even though I come across very confident, I am an insecure person. Always have been, and so cleanliness is like one of the things. Like, look, I'm picking shit up. Let's off the tables why they would say no. Well, it ain't gonna be because I'm funky. Because I clean and I wash and I put on the smell.
Yeah,
good.
I have an Orbit bubble gum subscription just to make sure that I always have gum at the ready. Like I don't leave my house without a pack or two of gum. I feel very comfortable going through a pack of gum in a day just to like.
Yeah, I don't really chew much gum, but and some of y'all probably know that. But what I do is like even when they had cut my belly open, I would still try to find a way to wash my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I'm gonna lean on this wall or something.
So Kutcher and Kunis basically said that they said if you don't see the dirt on them, they don't need a bath.
What about to smell it?
Which is not comfortable for me because kids be getting funky all the time, and you can't. You know, that's how you get famunda. That's how you get the famunda cheese. That's how you get a garlic knot. You know what I mean? That's
look, I can tell you the day my son hit puberty. Because the funk, like that motherfucker walked past me and he was like 11 and he smelled like he worked in a factory for 3 days. like he worked like a triple.
I will say this though, it is slightly rewarding when people that are super hot like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis do something that is super gross. You can be like, oh, cool. There's a balancer. You know what I mean? Like I may not be as hot as Ashton Kutcher, and the women may not be as hot as Mila Kunis, but hey, at least we take baths on the daily.
This is where I would say when I said white people don't make me defend you, but this is the defense that I would get that I will admit about myself. Like during the quarantine, if I didn't leave the house, I might go a few days before, I do water.
I'm a 2-day max guy, yeah.
Yeah, but during the quarantine, it got to 3-4 days a few times. Like I literally had to go. Oh goddamn! Okay. Because I wasn't going nowhere.
Right.
And like we didn't leave the room and shit. So anyway, so I don't know how secluded their life is. If they are, because they're very
hopefully they're not all stuck in the same room.
I think they live in like Wyoming. When he was with
Demi Moore.
That
was her. That was her shit.
That totally was her shit. Yeah.
Demi Moore owns a quarter of Wyoming. The reason Wyoming's only got 50 people is because Demi Moore owns about a third of it or some shit. I think. More people would live there, but she don't want to hire right now.
Yeah.
She was like, give me that part of Wyoming right there. Just cut that little cut, like she was ordering a slice of cake. Give me that big hunk right here.
Hey, okay. I want to give a shout out to a comedian friend of mine, Peter Saltigero.
Saltigero loves Fido. Shout out.
So he said something like a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure it was before the pandemic about liberals should all go move to like Wyoming. It's not that big of a population. A bunch of liberals from LA would move there. It wouldn't affect California that much.
Right.
But it would change the politics of Wyoming, and we could fucking like get those state senators and representatives and change, a lot of shit. Well, because of the pandemic, that kind of happened. A lot of Silicon Valley motherfuckers moved there because it's super cheap to buy a lot of land. And there were towns in Wyoming and Idaho that the locals were getting like white people were gentrifying white people. It's so awesome. It was so fucking fantastic.
And if we can only convince those white people that it is the other white people's fault, we may get some people on our side. In the meantime, where you at this week, XO? You got anything going on?
I am looking to hang out with Giannis, man. If you're still in Milwaukee, I'm kicking it. I'm gonna be down at the Deer District, kicking it. I mean, man.
Where can they find you?
At XL Comedy.
Since it's not visible this
on
week.
On everything. At XL Comedy on everything, all the systems.
Giannis, if you're trying to go out drinking tonight, I'm going to be at Stockhouse Brewing Company. I'm closing out a night called Comedy Flight. It's a new show happening up in Milwaukee. It's right outside of Wauwatosa, so it's a chill little spot. You can find that information and more at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show at New OGs Pod. Rob, what about you, man? What you got happening?
The same stuff always got happening. Go see the special. It's very important. It's called Lockdown.
Nice.
Lockdown Detroit in Find me on all social media, Robert_L_Hines.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Make sure you go to People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all their great shows. Follow James Webb. Follow Chicago Comedy Guys.
Oh, hey, one thing I
Yes,
want to
sir.
plug.
Yes, sir.
This coming Friday, August 6th,
Yes.
Stand Up is back.
The return of stand-up
Return of
stand-up.
I think that's where we met.
Yes, it is. Many moons ago, we met in that basement. And the phenomenal Mo Good of the West Side of Chicago is headlining. I've never seen her do 30 minutes, but I know she can. I cannot wait to see her. We have a phenomenal lineup. If you're in Chicago and you want to see some comedy, it's only $15. Go to standupstandup.net for tickets while they're still there. Next Friday, August 6th.
Make sure you get there. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's it. We're out of here. That's what's up.
Thank you, gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. You can't. Bitch, you better play your role. I feel like